Look, we live in a business culture that totally romanticizes the big idea. We constantly celebrate the visionary leader who stands on a brightly lit stage and paints this magnificent, industry-disrupting picture of the future. But there is a really dangerous illusion lurking beneath all that hype. It's the assumption that a brilliant vision automatically guarantees business success. Honestly, it just doesn't. If you take away anything today, internalize this truth. Hope is not a strategy. An organization can have the most groundbreaking strategy in the world, but if it relies on hope rather than a rigorous, dialed-in execution system, it is fundamentally destined to fail. Innovative idea is only the starting line, guys. Failing to execute on it costs millions. Ideas get attention, right? But operations build money. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into why strong operations consistently beat big ideas. We're going to dismantle the conventional wisdom that strategic thinking should be a leader's main focus and look at exactly how successful companies build the operational machines that turn chaotic aspirations into cold, hard, scalable reality. Let's get into it. Section 1. The myth of great ideas. Execution is the missing link between aspirations and results. That brilliant insight comes from Larry Bossidy and Ram Charan. They point out that when companies fail to deliver on their promises, the most frequent excuse is that the CEO's strategy was wrong. But actually, scratch that. The strategy by itself is rarely the true cause. Strategies usually fail because they simply aren't executed well. Things that are supposed to happen on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. just don't happen. Execution is a distinct, rigorous discipline in its own right. It links together your people, your strategy, and your operations. It's definitely not just some lucky byproduct of having a good idea. To put it bluntly, the idea was never the hard part. It never is. Actually delivering on it is the hard part. A superior strategy cannot and will not compensate for inferior execution. In fact, it's usually the other way around. Flawless, exceptional execution can actually give birth to a superior strategy because you are grounded in the reality of what really works on the ground. Think about the massive divide in how companies allocate their brain power. On one hand, you have the strategy process. It's highly conceptual, built on clean whiteboards, financial projections, and big picture thinking. It's theoretical, and frankly, it's exciting. But then you have the operations process. This is the nitty-gritty daily reality. This is how orders are actually fulfilled, how employees know exactly what to do when a sudden problem pops up, and how quality is strictly maintained minute by minute. Most companies fail because they pour all their energy and capital into strategic refinement while completely ignoring the operational chaos happening right on the warehouse floor. Section 2. The fatal execution jack. Now, check out this research from the Boston Consulting Group. It's incredibly revealing. It exposes a massive drop-off between leadership's strategic priorities and the actual ability to get things done. Executives surveyed globally were highly confident in their strategic ability, but deeply, deeply skeptical about their own company's ability to actually execute. Look at this specific 18-point execution gap. 66% of respondents said leadership gives high priority to global activities. That's the strategic intent. But when asked if those global projects get sufficient funding, the execution score absolutely plummets to 48%. And only 43% said performance incentives were actually aligned to deliver the strategy. Think about that for a second. Even top executives admit they are completely failing to fund or incentivize their grand strategies. The execution gap isn't just a minor pothole. It's a crater that swallows entire initiatives. So who actually wins because of this gap? Enter the local dynamos. These are smaller, operation-obsessed companies in emerging markets. They're less complex, super agile, and hyper-responsive to their local customers. Because they focus intensely on executional excellence rather than bloated global strategy, they're outgrowing massive multinationals by 25 percentage points annually. No joke, they are winning against global giants several times their size, purely through superior daily execution. Section 3. Breaking the founder bottleneck. Okay, so if having scale and capital doesn't guarantee success, what threatens a growing business the most? It's something we call the founder bottleneck. In the early stages, founders make every single decision. They handle all the critical tasks. It's just how it goes. But as the business grows, the creator of the initial big idea eventually becomes the absolute biggest threat to the company's scalability. Why? Because there are only 24 hours in a day. The founder simply cannot scale. When you rely on one person's heroics rather than a designed operational system, growth stalls out and chaos begins. The contrast here is literally night and day. Without systems, you have founder stress. We're talking constant firefighting, inconsistent quality, bottlenecks everywhere, and a leader on the verge of burnout because every single question runs through them. But with systems, you have calm systems, delegated authority, documented processes, and predictable workflows. Calm systems mean the business runs smoothly and profitably, whether the founder's in the room or sitting on a beach somewhere. Section 4. Building your operational machine. According to the operational experts at ScaleUp Exec, these are the 5 absolute non-negotiable steps to turn a chaotic startup into a scalable machine. First, map your processes. Document how work actually flows today, honestly, warts and all. Second, fix bottlenecks. Don't just throw more people at a broken process because that only creates more inefficiency at a higher cost. Find the specific step that limits your throughput and fix it. Third, standardize SOPs. Create simple, one-page checklists for recurring tasks. Fourth, train the team. Look, processes only work if people are actually equipped to follow them. And fifth, measure performance. That 5th step is absolutely crucial. There's a brilliant phrase from the operations world. Anecdotes don't scale, but metrics do. If you want to build a real operational machine, you must track hard data. For example, order fulfillment time shows your process speed. First pass yield tells you the percentage of work completed correctly the very first time, which is a massive indicator of true efficiency. Cost per unit tracks your economies of scale. When you track these weekly, you know exactly when your systems are scaling effectively and exactly when they are starting to buckle under the pressure. And the ROI for doing this hard, kind of unglamorous work, it's undeniably powerful. Research shows that companies with top operational excellence achieve 25% higher growth and a massive 75% higher productivity than their peers. Even small businesses implementing lean management techniques reduce their operational costs by up to 20%. These aren't just minor, marginal differences, guys. They literally dictate who dominates and who dies in a competitive market. Section 5. Execution as the ultimate differentiator. When amenities blur, execution wins. This insight comes from the highly competitive world of multifamily real estate, but honestly, it applies to every single industry. Think about it. When your competitors can easily copy your product features, your flashy marketing, or your big ideas, what is actually left? The only remaining competitive moat is how reliably and consistently you execute. When Class A and B properties have nearly identical offerings on paper, the same pools, the same gyms, removing the daily friction points that customers actually experience becomes the true differentiator. We call this the operational moat. Research from Gartner shows that 89% of companies now compete primarily on customer experience. And true customer experience isn't about those rare occasional wow moments. It is about absolute boring consistency. When you standardize common processes, you eliminate daily customer frustrations. You ensure consistent quality every single shift, every single day. You drive measurable time savings for both your team and your customer. And most importantly, you built a type of deep, unshakable brand trust that millions of dollars in flashy marketing can never, ever buy. So, as we've seen today, hope is not a strategy, and a big idea is really just the starting line. The real game? It's played right there in the trenches of operations. Take a hard look at your current workflows, your bottlenecks, and your daily metrics. Because the question isn't whether you have a great idea. The real question is, when your business inevitably scales, will your systems multiply your success, or will they absolutely break under the pressure?